This is We're Gonna Make You Watch.
Hey everybody, welcome to We're Gonna Make You Watch. I am Bryan. That guy is Isaiah. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty damn good.
It's funny because I already know. But
Right?
So Isaiah and I, not together or even at the same time, we went and saw In a Violent Nature. Okay, you saw it before I did, probably a couple weeks before me.
Yep.
And then I finally drug my ass to go see it a few days ago. And we decided, look, you know what? Let's fucking do a little review on it. Let's talk about it a little bit because there's some stuff to talk about here with this movie.
Yeah.
We definitely have opinions. To let you guys know, if you don't, In a Violent Nature is a 2024 Canadian slasher film written and directed by Chris Nash, and it's got a bunch of relatively unknown actors in it. They describe this as an ambient slasher, in the sense that it is supposed to be a really immersive experience. Would you agree with that, Isaiah?
Yep. It's definitely an immersive experience, but also just the absence of music is why they call it an ambient kind of experience. So you're kind of in the moment of this whole movie, and you're following this killer as he's going about after he's raised from the dead and hunting
Right.
down these
Yeah.
people that took the locket that was basically holding him captive in his grave. So
Right. Yeah. There's a lot that I really like about this movie. I love the approach that they
Yep.
took.
Yeah.
This is very unique. 90% of the movie is very much from the killer's perspective. So we kind of follow him around. It's a lot of it is just behind. We're basically walking behind him. We see his back for most of the movie.
Yep.
Some could say that they think the pacing is bad because of this, because there's a lack of music, and I didn't really have a problem with the pacing myself. I actually thought it moved fine.
Mm-hmm.
I respect the hell out of the approach of this movie. The killer looks cool. Got a pretty unique look. The midway through the movie, the killer finds like a mask and puts it on and gets some weapons, like old firefighting equipment.
Yep.
Pretty cool looking killer. The kills.
Some of the best I've seen in a movie in a long time.
Agreed. Right on par with some of the really good kills in like Terrifier.
Yep.
I'll never look at Yoga the same. never look at
No.
Yoga.
Oh God, no.
No. That's kind of, for me, where the good kind of ends, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than it's, some of the technical stuff about it is really good. It's shot really well, looks really good. And the practical effects are really cool. Thus, they're a big part of why the kills are so good.
Yep.
And honestly, I like the lore that it's built on. It's kind of basic, but it's fine. It works. But that's kind of where the good ends for me. I don't hate the movie, but I think for me, the abandonment of the whole draw to the movie that happens near the end, that disappoints me quite a bit, actually. What are your thoughts?
So,
and we can talk spoilers here.
Yeah,
we can talk spoilers.
Spoiler alert! If you're listening, if you haven't seen it, that's on you. It's going to be on Shudder. So,
yeah, it's me on Shudder.
If you haven't seen it yet, stop. Come back to it after you watch it, and then listen. Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't care about spoilers, listen ahead. Overall, I really did enjoy this movie for what it was. It's a low budget movie. The concept is something we haven't really seen before. It was very ambitious, I will say, with the concept of this, because a lot of it is like long tracking shots that you usually don't see with a horror movie. And we've seen long tracking shots before in like a la Halloween, the opening
Right.
few minutes of that, But there's quite a few of these tracking shots, in this movie. And it's almost like you're watching somebody play a real life video game like Friday the
Mhm.
13th, somebody controlling Jason, that kind of thing. So I appreciate that aspect of it. The characters are forgettable in the movie. They're nothing to write home about. But then again, a lot of horror movies are like that too.
Yep.
But there's not really much backstory regarding the characters in this movie. And there's some for the killer himself, that comes kind of later on, but it's kind of the same old tired trope, kind of like Jason and some of the other ones, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
Just kind of retweaked and retooled. It's for what it is. I enjoyed it. It's definitely not one that I absolutely love or praise. I mean, it is what it is. I think it's a great starting off point. Yes, like if they were to turn
Yeah.
this into a franchise, I could see potential here.
It would be really interesting to turn something like this into a franchise.
Mhm. The like you kind of touched on, the kills were spectacular in this. I
Yeah.
don't think there's one kill in here that I didn't enjoy. But definitely the yoga one. I mean, dude walks up behind her, sticks that hook right through her, torso, puts it right in her head, then pulls her head right through her torso. I mean, and then she just rolls down
Unreal.
the fucking cliff. I mean,
Yeah.
it was probably the
Unreal.
coolest looking kill
That was
I've
a cool kill.
I've seen in a very, very long time. So
Yeah.
it's got a lot of good working for it. And I think, like, the one thing I kind of mentioned when I first saw this is that I could see where a lot of people probably won't like this movie. Number one, the absence of music, because if you're not used to that, and just kind of how it's set up, it's different. And, sometimes people don't like different, unfortunately.
Sometimes.
It is what it is. I mean, you're going to like what you're going to like. It is what it is. But I really feel that, just kind of the concept with this is where its strength is. Could it have been executed better? Sure. But for what we got, I mean, again, it's a low budget movie. If I had some nitpicks about the movie that I want to kind of touch on, the practical effects, which I'm very glad that they went practical. There is only one area with the practical effects I feel it kind of was flawed, and that's when they did the close up of the killer when he's playing with the car, because
Oh yeah.
it looked like a Halloween mask. I
Yeah,
feel
it didn't look so good. Yeah, you're right.
I feel if they would have had that at more of a distance, so that you can see him but you can't really see him, not necessarily to even hide the flaws in the makeup, but just to kind of keep a little bit of a mystique with him, because it's kind of like
Mhm.
boom right in your face and you're just all up in his grill and you're just seeing everything, every nook and cranny of the motherfucker's face. I
Yeah.
feel like if they would have had a little bit more mystique, I think that would have worked a little bit better. But that's just my personal opinion. Obviously the creative minds behind this had a different approach that they wanted to do. And then really kind of the only thing other than that I really kind of dragged me down a bit was like you kind of touched on the ending. The thing with the ending is, number one, you have that super long monologue by that chick that picks up the final girl in this movie.
Yeah.
And it just kind of goes on and on and on and
That
on
did
and
not
on.
contribute much to the movie for me
No, it did
at all.
not. And then when she gets out to check on her, you're thinking the killer's going to be right there, to
Yeah.
finish the job. And nothing happens. It
No.
was like a big fucking tease. It got you like suspense, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And nothing fucking happens. And it goes back to the fucking gas
Yep.
can, and he's just gone, with the lock
Yeah.
in.
That's my biggest complaint about the movie is I agree. They abandoned the big selling point of the movie for the final portion of it. And in all honesty, this movie doesn't even feel like it has like 3 full acts,
Right.
and it's probably because of that jarring uh nature of the ending, because
Yeah.
it out of nowhere, all of a sudden, we're just following our final girl,
Hmm.
which we've hardly seen throughout the whole movie,
Exactly.
because of the point of the movie. And I I wanted to see what he did. I wanted to see him pick the locket up and go back to his grave, or see what he was going to do.
Right.
You know. Now, to be fair, if you want to set it up for a franchise, you don't do that. You actually don't do that. You probably do what they did, because we don't know if he went back to, where he was resting.
True. True.
We have no idea. We all we know is he picked the locket up. That's it. That's all we know. So in that sense, I feel like they made the right decision just based on that. But because of the rest of the movie, I hate it.
Yeah.
you know. But to be fair, I'm not a filmmaker. Making movies is fucking hard.
Yeah.
They probably made the right decision. That was probably the right play. I don't necessarily need to like it.
Right.
Now, with that being said, I'm glad I saw the movie and I still enjoyed it. And I don't know. You want like grade this? You want to give it a grade, like a A B C?
If I were to give it a grade, just kind of basing it on all factors and knowing what we know, low budget movie, very independently made movie. It's not like some big studio blockbuster kind of thing.
Right.
I would probably give it somewhere between a B- and a C+.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of right around there myself.
It's got like I said, it's got a lot of good going for it. It's just some of those things just feel like it kind of drags it down a little bit. And I don't know. It's just there's just potential here. I mean, there's nothing more I can really say. Is if they decide to turn this into a franchise, make more of these, there's potential to grow this thing big. I mean, just look at what Damien Leone did with Terrifier. Started off with a short film, no budget short film, and look at where it's at now. I mean, we're getting Terrifier 3 now this year.
Yeah, I think this is Christmas, right?
Yep.
Around this Christmas.
No, October.
Oh, is it October? No.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yep, I remember. Yeah.
So,
Fuck
I mean,
I'll go see that too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, because that kind of turned into the new big thing, and there's no reason why something like this couldn't turn into another big franchise. If the cards are played right. So,
yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I was thinking kind of B- B myself, so I'll probably chill at a B-. This is definitely worth a watch for sure.
Yeah.
If you're a big horror aficionado like and nerd like we are, definitely watch this movie, and at the very least, man, support small filmmaking.
Exactly.
Because this was made with a lot of heart and and a little money, and honestly, given those circumstances, because money's huge when it comes to making fucking movies. That's why not everybody's just sitting there doing it.
Yep.
He really pulled off something pretty cool here. It's definitely worth a watch. So, all right, I'm chilling at a B-. You got a B-?
Yeah, I'll go B-.
B-? All right, I like it. All right, B- from us. Let us know what you guys think of In a Violent Nature in the comments. And with that being said, you got anything you want to throw at these guys before we slide out of here, buddy?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good too, man. All right, guys. Thanks all for watching, and we'll catch you next time.